What's poppin' T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I am here with the lovely Danielle from Basketball Wives Orlando. Danielle, say what's up to the T Squad.
Hey y'all, hey T Squad. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. I'm so excited to have you on. You are one of my favorites from this season.
I was a little I said I was a little skeptical coming up here, but I had did my my due diligence, and I see that you got a lot of following on YouTube and
Oh,
people really
yeah.
be tuned into your reviews. But I
Yeah.
was like, when you said I was your favorite, I was like, I don't know, child. I was like, I don't know.
No, you are. You are. Trust me. I just, tell it like it is. But yeah, you and Morgan were actually my favorites from this season thus far. Yeah. And I'm not one of those messy bloggers or anything like that. I'm not gonna get you on here and ambush you or nothing like that. Nah, that ain't me at all.
One thing about me, I don't duck no questions. I'm an open book. I answer what I answer. And if I can't answer it, I tell you I can't answer it. And
Right.
I'll try to give you the best answer I can. So,
Describe yourself for me in 5 words.
I would say highly educated. I would say passionate, competitive. I would call myself I feel like in my new era of like healing, I feel like I'm really emotional these days. And I've
Mm,
never really like tapped into that emotional side. I've always kind of been like a, rough around the edges athlete, kind of like not hide your emotions, but I'm, always seem very strong headed.
right.
And then I would also like to describe myself in my new era as being more vulnerable. Because I've always showed up as being like a strong black woman, and I'm really like trying to get away from that because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be strong no more.
Tell me about it.
I don't want to be strong no more. I don't want to show up as strong no more. I want to be able to be viewed as soft, sensitive, and healing at this
Yeah.
point in my life.
Yeah, that's good. It's okay to be strong, but I understand very much where you're coming from because we all, especially as women, want to be taken care of. We shoulder a lot being
Exactly.
moms and with our careers and family and everything else. And we do need that person or something to lean on. So I 100% get that.
Yeah.
What would you say would be your greatest strength and weakness?
Hmm. I feel like my greatest strengths, I feel like my passion for things. I feel like that also comes from like playing sports. I'm really passionate about like the people around me. I'm passionate about the work that I do in the community. I'm passionate about my children, being a mom. I kind of wear my emotions and my heart on my sleeve, and I feel like that has kind of shown up on the show as well. Um, so I feel like my passion, my efforts towards me doing something and my accomplishments is how I've been able to be so successful
Mm-hmm.
in like my careers in the academic world. And I feel like my weaknesses are, I feel like overstaying my welcome in people's lives. I feel like I am one of those people who forgive and forgive and forgive and forgive. And I actually learned that from my mother, who is one of those people who like she's really no nonsense, but if she loves you, she gonna okay, I'm gonna hold my little grudge, but everything can be overcome. And I
Right.
feel like I want to be in my season where like everything can be overcome. Sometimes people don't need to be a part of your life. Sometimes people don't need to, you don't need to be in a relationship with this person. You don't need to be friends with this person. And I feel like that's my weakness for
Yeah.
sure.
I always tell people don't stay past your expiration date because a lot of times you end up blocking your own blessings because
Hmm.
God want to bless you, but you got to remove certain dead weight out your life because he don't want to bless them, and they get, be able to succeed off of you because a lot of people be in your life to eat off of you and what you got going on. And that was one of the things in my life that I had to learn the hard way. So
Yeah,
I'm glad that
exactly.
at your young age that you're already getting that, and that's huge.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so what would you say is your greatest accomplishment thus far?
Um Outside of having my children, because I know everybody's like, oh, I have my kids is a great accomplishment. I love my children. That is probably the greatest thing I have ever done in this world. Be able to bear healthy, smart, beautiful, intelligent children. That is like my prized possession. But I definitely feel like my greatest accomplishments have been continuing education. I feel like a lot of women in my position kind of get complacent and okay with just kind of like living this like baller lifestyle with the nice cars and the nice houses, and really don't understand the impact of like when that man steps away, kind of like my situation, when that man steps away or chooses to step away, what do you have left or what are you going to do? So being able to stand on my own 2 feet and have my degrees and have my integrity and understand that I can still build a life of my own is kind of like, and I'm restarting and coming from having nothing after leaving a long-term situation is like, I feel like my greatest accomplishment.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, because you're much younger than me. I just turned 42. And one thing that I always tell young ladies is to always have several streams of income coming in. Don't never depend on no man. Always have your own money in case for that rainy day, because these men will switch up on you in a minute.
In a heartbeat. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In a
So
heartbeat.
yes, trust me, I know. Where and how did you grow up?
So I'm actually from San Diego, California, Southeast San Diego. I know everybody's like, "Oh, you from San Diego?" But I'll be honest, it's a hood everywhere. I grew up in Southeast San Diego. I went to, you know, majority African American high schools and middle schools. I have a sister. I have my parents who've been together since I was born. They have been together for 30 plus years. I have a very strong family dynamic. We ain't have everything, but I ain't want for nothing. You know,
Good.
my mom and my dad broke their backs. We were not no rich people, but you know, they did everything they could to make sure that we had everything we needed. They made sure I was able to play sports. They made sure education came first. You know, my parents put me in position to be able to go off to college to receive a full ride scholarship to play basketball, you know, supporting me through that, supporting me when I played basketball overseas, supporting me when I was living in Minnesota, being a mom and a housewife. So, you know, I come from, you know, very strong, passionate Black people. And yeah, I'm very blessed to have such a positive, you know, family dynamic.
Good. That's wonderful. So, how did you get into playing basketball?
My dad, I feel like he always wanted boys, but he had two girls. So I feel like he, you know, he didn't like force me to do it, but one day I was cheering. I was actually cheering on the boys playing basketball. And my dad was like, "Oh, you watching him a lot. Do you want to, you know, try to play basketball?" Because I was playing softball at first. And I was like, "Sure." So then I tried to play basketball. My dad, he didn't play professionally or anything like that. But, you know, he really encouraged me to like, you know, this is something you want to do. Let's do it. So
Right.
he would like paint little fake basketball hoops and stuff like that in the driveway, and we would like shoot. I had like 4 or 5 different basketball hoop sets. So, you know, my dad kind of put me on to basketball, taught me everything I knew. He would even call my college coach yelling at her. Would call my agents cussing him out. I'm just like, Dad, like so he was very much so involved from day one. And my mom, she's just my number one cheerleader. She gonna wear the mom shirt. She gonna come to the games. She gonna snap on the coaches, cuss the refs out. My dad was always quiet in the stands. It's funny because people didn't know who my father was until my senior game, my last game of the season, and he walked me across the court because
Oh,
he was so quiet and humble in the stands. Like he would never say anything.
oh, that's sweet. Yeah, because I was so excited the episode where they finally showed you playing. I was like, well, goddamn, she can play.
Right.
Like you
It's
was
so funny
good.
because when it's and I know y'all can't stand when we say this, and it'd be funny because I be seeing the blog. They're like, well, if it got edited out, they sure didn't say it. And well, what's funny is in that episode, I did miss like, you know, the shots that I missed were literally just those shots that they showed.
Yeah, no, I'm
Obviously,
talking about the first time when you were in practice.
the first time when I was practicing. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
Yeah,
was talking
yeah,
about the most recent episode when I
yeah.
actually played in the game. I had like 10 points. I had 6 assists. I even had my stat sheet. I forgot to post it, but it appeared as if I played bad because of all that was going on, which is great for story.
Yeah,
But you know, I had a good game.
yeah.
I wasn't too much worried about what was going on. I had a good game.
Yeah, they always doing stuff like that, editing and stuff out to make it look a certain way. Yeah, I
Yeah,
100% get that and know that. Um,
which it made
so
perfect sense.
Yeah. How did it feel when you were able to go play basketball overseas?
It was like a dream come true. You know, I had spent all of my life since I was 10 years old training, playing basketball, dedicating hard work, tears, sweat, blood, you know, injuries to playing the game of basketball. And then I finally got the opportunity, you know, to go play overseas. It was just like, it was so great. I honestly couldn't believe it. It was like I was like one of the first people, I want to say first person in my high school's history to have gone play professional basketball
Wow.
overseas. So, you know, that was a great accomplishment.
How can I help?
I ended up I'm in my car. I ended up actually having my jersey retired at my or excuse me, going into the Hall of Fame at my high school.
Wow, that's huge. Congratulations. That's
Yeah, thank you.
awesome. So let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Let's get into it. I was waiting. I was like, child, these questions, let me just get into it.
So, when did you meet your ex Rashad and how old were you?
So I met Rashad in college. I want to say I was 20. How old was I? I don't remember how old I was, but I remember he was 18.
Okay.
He had just signed to UNLV. I was a senior. He was a freshman. So we were a few years apart. Yeah, I was a little older. And it was funny because when I started talking to Rashad, I had never dated a basketball player at our school. And mind you, I went to a pretty, you know, well-known college,
Right.
UNLV. We had all-American players, guys who were going to the NBA. I just personally never found interest in wanting to date a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
I had never dated anybody on the team previously. And for some reason he said that drew him because he was like, dang, like all these, you know, you the best player on your team.
Mm-hmm.
You have plenty opportunity to date, you know, the best players on the men's teams. You know, and I'm still cool with a lot of these guys to this day, but I just never
Mm-hmm.
something about the basketball players. I was like, I don't want no basketball player. Y'all a mess. But for some reason, his ass got me. So,
That's
and
how
you know,
it
at
be.
first when I first met Rashad, we were really good friends. Me and him had really good like friendship chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back on the whole relationship, I really wish we would have stayed just that.
Mm. That's yeah. Sometimes that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Hopefully, if y'all haven't, y'all will get back to that place over
Yeah,
time.
I honestly think, and this is exclusive to you. When I haven't really talked about me and his relationship now, but me and him are actually in a really good place right now.
Good.
You know, we still, you know, communicate via email because I honestly feel like our co-parenting space has been violated a little bit.
Yeah.
Just given, you know, the information that's being shared between him and his new partner or whatever they got going on, and I just don't feel safe in our space right now. And I shared that with him.
That's
You know,
understandable.
and with me having to hear him, or me with him having to hear me, I have to hear him as well. I violated him as well, you know, within our co-parenting space. So I had to take accountability. Like, okay, well, I did shit on you too, and you shitted on me. So I don't know if you can cuss on YouTube, but
I'll bleep it out.
but yeah, you know, we had to, you know, we're trying to work through those things right now and trying to figure out like what our relationship is gonna look like to be able to best, you know, serve our kids. Cause right now it's doing all right, but the pain has to be addressed. We can't just skip over it. The pain has to be addressed for us to be, it was just too long for it not to be addressed.
Correct. And it's gonna take time. And then it's gonna be a time when if you're not dating already, when you're gonna date and you're gonna have to get used to a lot of stuff. It's a
Yeah.
dance. Y'all gonna be going through this a long time.
I Lord, because we have she just turned 3 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow. Okay. And she's so cute too. I went on your page. Your
Oh,
kids are
thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
So what was about him that made you fall for him?
Rashad is very charming. I mean, as you can see him on TV, like he's very charming. You know, he gonna wine and dine. He gonna do the flowers. He gonna do the take you to dinners. He gonna give you all the sweet talk. Tell you what you want to hear. You know, he's typical like suave. Like you know, he played basketball. I played basketball. I could lay on his chest talking about my game. He could lay on my chest talking about his game. So we had a lot of commonalities. We have very similar upbringings, very involved families, similar interests in reference to like Well, it used to be. I don't know now. In reference to like the work in the community, he had a foundation. So just we shared a lot of similarities. It was to the point where even our coaches was like, be together.
Um,
So, that he was a star on his team, I was a star on my team. It really just made the chemistry was there, it just made sense.
wow. Okay. So, what happened in your relationship that made you decide to step back from playing basketball and just strictly focus on supporting his basketball career?
So I got pregnant with my son. He was going into his second season with the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, he pretty much told me like I'm not about to be going back and forth between Europe and, Milwaukee to see my kids. So you're gonna have to figure out your career and what you want to do. You have a degree. He encouraged me to like get into the justice system, and we're using my degree because I have a degree in criminal justice,
Mm,
working with youth and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I guess like I gotta figure out something else because like I don't want to take my baby overseas. I didn't want to have my baby overseas. So I had my son. I was in between California and Milwaukee because I still had my jobs. Like throughout our entire relationship, I always kept a job.
okay, good.
Um, I've worked for the Board of Public Defense in Minnesota, helping individuals get out of custody. I've worked for juvenile justice system, justice centers. I've done all kind of like criminal justice stuff. I
Mm,
worked for law firms. So throughout our whole relationship, I always kept my jobs, and he knew that. So I was back and forth. And then he just kind of said, like, look, we can't keep doing this back and forth. Like he's really like, or was, and trying to figure out how to be back in this space. But he's a phenomenal dad.
mm.
My daughter do not play about her daddy. My son do not play about his father. And I feel like, without obviously getting off the topic of the question, but like I feel like he's now put in a position where he got to figure out how to juggle
What
over
he
there and
got going on?
here.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's putting our family and our kids at a disadvantage because it's not her fault, but it's like him as a man need to figure out how you gonna spend all your time over there and not with your kids. My kids only know their dad. They
Right.
only know living in the house with their dad for the last. My son is about to be 7.
Mm,
Every single day. If we're not in the United States at our house, we're overseas with him in Greece or in Lithuania or wherever we are.
mm-hmm.
So I had to step away, to put my kids first, put my family first. And he really was like trying to be a full-time dad. Like I went to every single team with him. I had visas in every single country with him. So I pretty much just put the basketball down to focus on my babies and being a housewife or whatever, slash having jobs here and there.
Do you regret it?
Um, I hate to use the word regret. I feel like I should have probably made better decisions in reference to like how quickly I put the basketball down. Maybe I could have tried to do it a couple more years. Maybe I could have told him like, let's do, maybe you play this type of season and I can play the off season so that you can keep the kids. I do feel, some sense of like I didn't fully live out my dreams,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what it's
Yeah.
not regret, but it's like, damn, like what if I would have continued to play basketball?
Mm-hmm.
Would I be in the WNBA right now? I know me and my agent had a pact that we said we were going to do 2 years overseas and then I was going to go do a WNBA tryout. So like, where would I be today if I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have given up like my dreams to, obviously support him? And I feel like I hate to like it's not his fault because it was
Right.
my decision, but it was like, damn, like you knew all the stuff that I had sacrificed to be in this situation with you. Like when you got put out the NBA, I was the only person that was there. When you got kicked off all these different teams, I was the person picking up the pieces, helping you find a new agent, helping you, try to navigate that whole situation. And then like to shit on me and your kids like that, I was just like, I couldn't believe it. So that's kind of where the regret came from me, is like, why would I put my trust into this man? Like damn near with my whole life,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think the older you get and when you look back on this, you're going to thank God for it because it's going to make you such a more stronger and wiser woman. And at some point, he'll realize what he's done too as well. They always do. It might not happen
Yeah.
tomorrow or whatever. He's going to realize the mistakes that he's made. It might be too late. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully he'll get to that point where he can figure his life out and do things better and differently. Because y'all are very, how old are you now?
I'm 30. I'll be
Okay.
31 in like 2 weeks. Yep.
Y'all still babies. Y'all still babies.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, and
child.
I'm saying that too.
Yeah.
We got a long road, but I honestly feel like and I really do try in my healing is like I'm trying not to be so like proud or like hold things against him because I feel like we had babies really young and he
Mhm.
honestly he didn't even have time to develop who he really was as a man. Like
And
he don't
neither
even
did
know.
you.
And I didn't have time to develop who I really was as a woman. So it's just like we was just trying to figure it out day by day. So it was
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about your engagement. How did that go?
Oh, so I was pregnant with Kari. Um it was July. It was my baby shower. He
Mm.
had made sure my mom was there, his whole family was there. My mom actually was like, somebody rang the doorbell. She's like, girl, somebody knocked on the door in a black truck. And I was like, girl, what are you talking about? Girl, I'm busy. Like, girl, let me call you back. I'm doing something. I said, just answer the door, get the package. It's probably Rashad's. And she was like, okay, girl. She said, girl, that man just ran past me to get that package so quick. I said, what? Whole time, what was in the package was my engagement ring. He had somebody deliver it to the house in a black truck. So I was
Wow.
like, okay, this is weird. It must have been the jeweler, the jewelry company.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really expensive ring. So he so I was just walking around the baby shower and all of a sudden I hear this song. Lord, I should have knew this was the red flag when this song came on. It was R. Kelly.
Oh God, Jesus.
Oh my God. So I hear the song and I was like, I know I hear him singing it all the time, but I ain't really paying no mind because he's very like animated. If you follow him on social media, I'm sure he on there singing and dancing, and that's just the type of man that he is. So I'm looking around, I just see everybody with their cameras out. I'm like, what is going on? I instantly just start crying, like, oh my God. He sang like half the song to me. I think it was like, what is that song? I forget the song. It's by R. Kelly. I'll get it to you after this. But he got on his knee. His whole family was there. His mom was crying. My mom was crying. All his aunts, uncles, our whole family. We danced the rest of the night. I was crying the rest of the night. It was a great engagement. Like he planned it out. Yeah. But it's weird because I had just heard recently he talked to one of my friends or whatever. And he was like, the reason why he proposed was because he was doing what his family wanted him to do. And I was like, Nick, or boy, I just thought that was so like I don't know. I just feel like he be trying to find ways to like justify his mistakes or like justify like how he did me. And like, I'm just like, I don't think nobody's gonna go out their way to like do a whole song, get on one knee, invite my mom, call my dad for approval, like really like a genuine man, like go out of
Right.
your way to do all these things if you was just doing it for your family. And I don't know, it's just little stuff like that hurts my feelings because I'm
Of
just like,
course.
why would you waste my time like that?
Of course. But don't even let stuff like that even get to you because, girl,
I know
just
y'all can't stand him. Oh my God. And it's so sad because it's like, and it's funny because Tasha K was like, you stay protecting him. And I don't know what it is, but in my heart, I'm just like, he's not a jackass like he's showing up on TV. But he is though.
yeah, he is. I was gonna say he is.
No, he is. He
He
is.
is.
It's like, this is not you, bro. Like, you're
He
not
is, but I don't take offense to it to that level because I've been there, done that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And I know that he's still a kid. And to be honest
Yeah.
with you, with me being 42, niggas is still acting like they
Wow.
don't get no better.
I'm just like,
That's the
oh,
sad part. Only
oh.
a handful of them like get it, and
I
then
just
try.
can't believe it.
Yeah. So, Jesus, but I understand most definitely where you're coming from. So,
Yeah.
how long were you together before things went downhill?
Me and Rashad was together 8 years. I've known him 10. We were together, I want to say things didn't start going downhill until 2022. He
Mm-hmm.
came back from overseas. I found out that he was cheating overseas with some girl in Greece. And I don't know why he thinks that the women in Greece is different than the women in the United States, because everybody, and it's funny because no woman has ever really came at me about him, but I was just seeing little stuff because one of my old teammates played in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine how small of a world that is. So I was able to find out some information. I found that out. He had to tell me because it was like, got caught red-handed. I told him, you know what? I'm not sure what you got going on, but if you're gonna be doing all of this, we planning our whole wedding and you still doing this, I think we need some space because I'm not sure what's going on. He was like, I just don't feel like I'm a good partner to you. I just feel like, it's just hard being monogamous and I'm trying my best and maybe I'm just not somebody who can be monogamous. And I looked at him like, nigga, I don't know what you got going on or what this non-monogamy bullshit is that you're spitting. And I'm in this social media era that we're in right now, it's a lot of that talk going on the internet. But and no shade to the non-monogamy crew, the polygamy crew, y'all move how y'all move. But
Right.
baby, I was raised and my morals are I'm not participating on shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Period, point blank. As much as it may look like it, because I'm still dabbling and dabbling with your ass in the bed with it, I'm not willingly about to be like, okay, go ahead and do what you're doing. Even though I stayed, and I understand people like, well, you stayed in this and that. So technically, no, at the end of the day, I wasn't okay with no non-monogamy. I cussed his ass out, almost drug him up out of every house, apartment, condo, complex y'all could think of if that man did some cheating, period. Now I stayed. That's me being stupid. That's me trying to keep my family together. That's me trying to just make it work. That's me overstaying, like I just talked about earlier. Not really, really understanding, like, why are you not? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's insecurity. Maybe it's me just needing to grow the fuck up and realize that he don't love you. Maybe it's a host of things. Who knows? And I'm still working through that in my head on my own with just my therapy. But it's like I did all I could to keep my family together because I watched my mom do that shit. And I watched my grandmother do that shit. And I watched her grandmother do it. And I wanted my family to work just like my mom worked, just how I was raised, just how I saw my grandparents be together for 80 years, and how I'm gonna watch my parents be together for 80 years with one baby daddy. With
Yeah.
my grandmother, with his wife who he had kids with. So that's what I come from. I don't come from like remarriage and doing all that. I come from this the man you wanted to have kids with, this the man you gonna stay with. Y'all gonna work through it. Y'all said through thick and thin, you got a ring on your finger, you gonna get married. Y'all figure that shit out. And that's how I was raised. He wasn't.
Mm.
His mom, no shade to her, I love her, whatever, but she gonna go where she happy. Kudos to her. Go
So
where you
that,
happy.
yeah, that now that you
Wonderful.
said that, it seems like that's what he does.
That's what he does. Go wherever the wind blows you, wherever you happy at, whoever's giving you the newest new sense of feelings, a new attention, the new supply. And I hate to keep throwing the narcissist word out there, but that's what it is.
Mm.
That's where he went. And I'm like, okay, cool. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. I was never gonna just be like, okay, you know what? Let's just be non-monogamous. All right, I'll stay. Like I wasn't. No, I'm not desperate. You know what? You want to do this? Go ahead with it. He went on with it, and he stood
Mm.
on it.
So y'all broke up early last year, and this is
So
2022.
we broke up the beginning of. So I went home. I actually moved my things from Minnesota in November. Me and him were still dating. We were still trying to figure it out. And when I mean dating, I'm like relearn each other. Like We're separated. We're relearning each other. I still have my ring on. We're still dealing with each other sexually. I'm still going to his games, but we're on the rocks. Like, we're on the rocks.
Right.
He's still reassuring me, I want to be with you. I love you. I'm trying to work on it. Maybe this is a feeling that'll go away. I don't know. I don't know if I want to be monogamous. I just said that. Like, he's backtracking. Like, let me try to fix my family. But damn, I do kind of want to be non-monogamous. Well, damn, being outside is kind of fun. Like, and I'm going back and forth with how I feel. I'm in California one day. I'm at our Minnesota home the next month. We still back and forth. We are not broken up. We are not unengaged. We still together. We ain't never just said we're done. Up until we get to the next year, and I'm like, you know what? This is just not conducive for what I want to do. I'm hearing stories of him going out with this person. I get a video of him in the club with this individual. So now I'm like, okay, you outside, you want to do this? You're not really trying to work on what we got going on here. I'm done with it. I take my ring off. That's March
of this year.
Okay. I get casted for the show, and I don't know if you see any of my other interviews, but I kind of talk about this a lot. Mackenzie's plot all along, her storyline was always Rashad. They started dating in February. They started to date in February of this year. I did not know or learn about their relationship until a week before I got to Orlando. So when they show on the show, like, all these pictures, all these images, like, oh, they've been together. This is a public relationship. She lied on camera and said, oh, he posts me. Rashad has never posted another woman on his page. The only person he's ever posted on his page is me and his kids. He has never posted another woman on his page, ever. She sent all those images into the producers, and they aired it on the show as if they're in a public relationship. The only way I saw those images is when y'all saw them. So when it aired on the show that y'all see the public relationship, that's when I saw it. I didn't know. So when I keep saying, like, in scene, like, I'm confused, like, I saw a picture of them online together, he's still telling me, like, nah, she's just a jump off for real. Like, I don't really know her like that. I sent them my evidence, like, it was a text message, and I could send it to you so you can, like, flash it on the screen while we talking. I asked him, I said, hey, do you know this girl? He said, I mean, I know her. She just, from this girl from around Minnesota. I gave her advice on her baby daddy one time, but now I don't really know her like that. Whole time he dating her. So when I come on the show, I'm looking like, why would you lie? I'm looking at him like, I'm looking at her like, girl, he telling me he don't even really know you like that. So when y'all see me pop off in that scene, like, girl, I can let you hear the audio of what he said about you. Like, he's saying, like, he's single. Like, me and him been unengaged since March, baby. I've been talking to this man all year. Like, we still cool. Like, he telling me, like, this ain't that. So then I'm like, coming on the show, they looking at me like, girl, she's saying that's her boyfriend. The producers is telling me that. I'm like, no, that's not. He's literally telling me that's not. Well, they're on vacation together. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, I got a text message in my phone from him that say he with his teammates. Is she there with her friends? So, I mean, it's like me believe a girl that I don't know, or me believe a man I'm just been with for half my life.
Okay.
So now when everybody's on TV like, oh, you're dumb, you're coming at her, that's his girlfriend. I'm looking at the world like, yeah, they're airing it like that's his girlfriend. They got the little caption up there like that's his girlfriend. And then when he came on the show, she tried to lie. She tweeted something like a couple weeks ago, like, you guys are dumb. This scene was shot only 2 months in. No, babe. That scene was shot in what was the dates? That scene was shot the week before the last day we filmed. And I believe that was I can get you the exact date right now.
Yeah, because that was the episode where he took her out to dinner and he was saying.
But it was aired, right? That was aired early on in the season. That scene was not shot until the last week of us filming.
Right.
And used it early on in the show. Mackenzie had been dating that man from February all the way up until September. Hold on, wait.
Wow.
That scene was shot September 9th. She lied and said, oh, that was only 2 weeks of us dating. No, baby. You have been dating him since February because that's what you told Lindsay. Because Lindsay told me and Scene they cut it out at at Morgan's daughter's birthday party. He had been dating her since February. They shot that scene September 9th. And she lied and said, me and him had only been dating for 2 months. So, of course, we're not going to be together in that scene. No, baby. That man just said last week that y'all not together. And I'm talking about last week. What's today? Today is December 14th. Last week is December what? 7th? Stop. So that's why I keep saying, like, it's constant lies. Constant. She's gassing the situation like they're really in a relationship. No, babe. He's single. He's dating you and everybody else, like I've been saying this whole time.
But do you think that it could be possible that he is saying to her that they are in a relationship and still just telling you that?
He told her on TV they're not in a relationship.
Well, yeah, true.
I mean, in front of the world. I mean, I'm not sure what else.
Yeah, that's very much true.
Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. Is that how you interpreted it? Because I interpreted it.
No. I had to think back to that scene. He did say, no, we're not in a relationship. That is what he said. And if I do decide I want to see other people, I'll let you know.
I will. Right. And I'm like, to me, that's like, we're not together. So if he's telling you that to the world, I'm most certain he's saying that to you behind closed doors. Wow. And either you're just dumb and or you just so desperate that you want to like make it work because you done already embarrassed yourself on TV that you just settling for this nonsense. But girl, he is your problem now, baby, because I can't do it.
So question, because I know in the beginning of this season, they were showing flashbacks to the previous year. Was that like the pilot episode or that y'all had filmed? Okay, so y'all had already met.
Baby, no, I wasn't a part of the pilot. She was already in the work. I'm gonna tell you how it went down. This is how it went down. Oh, this is exactly how it went down. They shot a pilot right around COVID. They pitched the pilot to, I want to say, BT, VH1, or whoever they pitched it to. BT, VH1, they merged. They picked the show up. They dropped 2 of the girls. I want to say it was Olivia Song, who was somebody's makeup artist. I think she was Ashley's makeup artist. And they dropped Lala Moulton. She was like a sports broadcaster. They dropped those 2 girls. They recasted me, Megan, and Nikki. They added us to the cast. So when I see people say like, oh, they should have made the show around Neek and Mulan, they already tried to do that, baby. It didn't work. They had to recast.
They can't carry a show.
So they recasted me, Megan, and Nikki. We were the last 3 cast members to be added to the show. They made Megan the lead. They made me a main cast, and they made Nikki a friend of Megan.
Wow.
I get to Orlando. I don't know. The week before I got there, I found out about Rashad and Mackenzie. Mackenzie's storyline had always been Rashad. There was a article leaked on VH1 website of all of our bios. The bios just so happened to be, I believe, what the production team or whatever thought that our storylines would be. In Mackenzie's bio, it said, oh yeah, Mackenzie and Ashley have a secret about somebody who Mackenzie's been dating, but they don't want to tell the group. So that means y'all been plotting on this shit the whole time. So that brings me to think like, did Morgan know too? Because Morgan, you shot the pilot too. Did y'all know? Was I used? Right.
Wait a minute. So they put up that bio
and took it down. It was an accident. It accidentally leaked. Yes.
Was that this year or last year when they put that up?
That was this year, right when the show aired. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send you all the receipts. They leaked it on VH1. It was leaked on accident, and it was all of our bios. And it's literally like when you're looking at the storylines, it's not even like the real storylines now because this was what they must have gave to the network or something before we start shooting the show.
Wow.
In her bio said that she was dating somebody in the group's new man. Mind you, she acted like she didn't know who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said that, I didn't know you were in the scene. I didn't even know you were. He told me that he told me that he had kids, but I didn't know who it was. Girl, me and this.
So just to get this correct, VH1 posted this before y'all even started filming the season.
Oh, VH1 posted this right when the show was airing. The bios
Okay.
of the
Okay.
show.
Okay. Well, then I don't think that Morgan probably knew then. I think that with
Mm.
production, yeah, I don't think that that's the case. I don't think that that's the case. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, Lord.
Yeah, and my thing is, I don't know, but the way the season plays out, and when you see the season play out, everyone's gonna be very confused. Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jesus the Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm.
Everybody gonna be confused because I'm still confused. Like, what?
So
Oh,
it
okay.
really then, because I understood it, and I don't think that the audience really did, but I understood it when I've been doing my reviews of why you came into the season angry and hurt, because you said it millions of times that you had just found out about this information like a month or whatever before y'all started filming. So I
A week,
understood.
a
Oh,
week,
oh.
1 week, literally 1 week.
So I understood why you felt the way that you felt. So just to put myself in your shoes, you find out a week before filming that he's seeing this other girl. You're getting sent this information. Y'all are still trying
My
to.
page. Yep.
Right. So at this point, you had just taken off your ring, said y'all wasn't together no more. But
Yes.
before you even said that, he had already started dibbling and dabbling with her, obviously.
In
And
February.
how did you know? Because on the show, you kept saying that you know who I am, you're a side chick, and I have proof. How did you know that she knew about you?
So, okay, so I took my ring. So Lindsay told me that they have been dating since February.
Mm-hmm.
She texted this to Lindsay. Lindsay told me this never comes out on the show, which I'm irritated because at Morgan's daughter's birthday party, me, Neek, Morgan have a conversation at that birthday party. Because remember when I was like, oh, you're Neek. Okay, boom. And she was like, oh, you're Danny. And I was like, yeah. She was like, girl, well, let me tell you, I understand how you feel with Mackenzie because I experienced the same thing with her. Girl, all this got cut and I was hot. She's like, I experienced the same thing with her. You know, she ends up being a nice girl at the end of the day because me and her worked through our issues. But you know, I got stalked and harassed too. I was called ugly. I was disrespected. You know, she's really not a nice girl when she's not in a good place. But you know, seeing as though she has a new man now, girl, I'm sorry that that's going on with y'all. But shit, I'm just happy she could leave Dwayne alone. That's what she
They
said.
kept that part. They kept that
They
part.
kept, they kept that part of her confessional, but they
Uh-huh.
didn't keep it scene because she was like, "Ooh, girl, I'm just happy she leave my man alone." Because me and Dwayne, we be laughing at her, girl. She be boasting and bragging about her new man, so we just be so happy. So I'm laughing, and Lindsay was like, "Well, you know, they're in a relationship." I was like, "How you know?" She was like, "Oh, well, she told me that they've been dating since February." And I said, "Well, that's interesting because I was just with this man in Cleveland because he was playing for the Cleveland Charge at the top of the year. Y'all can look at the league roster. He was playing in Cleveland. I got videos and pictures on my page right now in Cleveland at the beginning of this year. And I said, well, that's interesting because I just took my ring off. And she was like, really? Because I'm in her close friends and they ain't together. And I was like, interesting. And I said, okay, I said, well, that makes sense as why she been watching my page all year. But I thought it was just because she must have found out that I was being casted for the show. So
Uh-huh.
as she's watching my page, her best friend is watching my page. I sent him the screenshots. I got screenshots to this too. I sent him the screenshot of her watching my page. I said, hey, that's when I asked him, like, hey, how you know this girl? He like, oh nah, she just,
Mm-hmm.
I just know her, through baby daddy, and she asked for advice one time. And, that's just I grew up with her. She from Minnesota, whatever. I don't really know her like that. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I get to Orlando. You know who I am. If you follow Rashad on social media, then she slipped up and seen and said, oh, I've been following him for years, but I unfollowed him because we had some stuff. I'm like, What would you unfollow a man for if you don't talk, you don't date him, you don't talk to him? Have y'all been dealing with each other off and on for multiple years? Have you been a side chick for multiple years? Because what you unfollowing a random man for that you really don't talk to like that, that's just your homeboy? What y'all unfollowing each other for? So then I'm like, okay. And now I'm getting stories from people in Minnesota. They done been had dealings. Yeah. Mackenzie needs to stop the cap. She been lying for a long time now. And her daddy said it. Her daddy said all I needed to hear. Because I really did try to give her the benefit of that. Like, she seemed like a nice girl. I don't know. Maybe I am coming in a little bit too hot. Because I could take it there. I can be very professional, or I can be the hoodest hood baby you'll ever meet. Is there in between with me?
Well,
I
then
try.
I'm sorry, this then plays back into what you just said about the cast bios. If you now have been getting word that they've been dealing with each other, then that's why her bio said what it said.
Exactly. Because she been plotting. She plotted on my little family, extorted my little family, plotted. She used that man in his name to leverage herself up in this space. She did. That man don't got nothing. He don't got nothing. That man is on the last leg of his little basketball career. He got a couple chickens on that farm. It ain't got no horses and it ain't got no goats, baby. Cause them horses and goats been gone since I left. They left with me. So did them cows, because they was all mine. And then peacocks actually flew away when I flew up off that plane to leave Minnesota. So stop it, girl. But he gonna see it. One day he'll see it. She's an opportunist. He gonna see it. Anything to be on TV, anything to be in the public eye. You'll date and have sex and do whatever it is, lay on your back to be with whoever it is that you want to be with. She's done it. You play housewife with Dwayne, living in two separate houses in Charlotte, like as if y'all was together and y'all really wasn't. This girl's been delusional for a very long time.
Well, she does seem a little slow now. I'm not gonna never say that. Did you find out that he'd filmed scenes with her while you guys were filming, or did you find out as you watched the show?
I knew he was on the phone with the kids in the airport in Orlando. Rashad makes Rashad makes sure he finds a way to tell me shit before shit happens, because he knows I'm going to snap on him. But I didn't say nothing. I just let it. Okay, cool. No problem. You want to leverage this girl up on this platform after I done spent all this time with you, instead of leveraging me up and we can show we're positive co-parents, and you want to be on here to be funny. And he told me why he came on the show. He said the first thing he wanted to clear up was that he's single. And the second thing he wanted to make sure is that because I was doing too much. I was running my mouth too much. I was talking too much. I was shitting on his name. So he wanted to show me.
But in all fairness, you hadn't said anything really negative about him because you were still in the space of trying to figure out what was going
What was going
on.
on?
So he's getting this information from her that you were allegedly Okay. Okay.
Exactly. And that's exactly why this next episode, y'all gonna see. Doing too much of this, and I gotta shut you down because we got legal stuff going on, and you keep doing this, and you gonna make me lose my kids because you keep doing this. And now you getting in his ear because he ain't that wrapped too tight, and neither is you. So y'all over there pillow talking too much. Doing too much. Don't know how to be quiet. And one thing's for sure, two things for certain, I don't play about my kids. And you already tried it in that little scene when we sat
I
at
was
that
going
table.
to ask you about that. How did you feel when she said, and I quote, you and him are not in a relationship, and if y'all were together, you would be living in Minnesota. You wouldn't be calling and harassing him about your rent money. I don't know how you didn't boom bop her.
Okay, so let me tell y'all, I love that you asked this question because it's been on my heart to share. The entire network was at that sit down. The network was at that sit down. The owners of the show were at that sit down. They prepped me and made sure that I did not put my hands on her, because I could have whooped her ass. I had already been warned. I had been suspended on the season after I punched Mulan. There was a incident that happened after the show where I told people to pull up where they need to pull up. I got in trouble for it. I got suspended. Morgan got suspended, and Mulan got suspended. Nobody's talked about that. Yes, there was almost a physical altercation in front of Morgan's house that I was involved in. So I had, when y'all see me like, oh, well, Danielle ain't being about it, she ain't turning up no more, because I had been warned. I almost lost my job, literally, a few
Now
times.
it makes sense.
Because I was real calm. Like, I was like, and all that, because you see me at the cancer, then Mulan was like, shut up. I was like, girl, all right, bitch. Everybody here knows I'm the one.
It all makes sense because I was like, when y'all met up, you and Milan met up at that park bench and she was
And I
doing
was
all this. I
like,
was like, why she
uh-huh,
ain't? Okay, now it makes sense.
exactly. Exactly. You see my character kind of start.
Yeah, I was like, huh?
Exactly. Because I was warned. I almost lost my job like 3 times, literally. Because they was like, y'all doing too much. They called us the most unhinged group of women they have ever worked with in Basketball Wives history.
Now I found that hard to believe.
Because they cut a lot out. They cut a lot of altercations out, a lot of fighting out, a lot of arguments out. Yes. Off
Wow.
camera stuff. Yeah. A lot was cut out. So when y'all see me calm and collected, I did tell her when she said that shit, when she was like, I said, have you been around my kids?
That was my
She tried to
next
lie about,
question.
she tried to lie about this shit too. I said, have you been around my kids? She gonna do the little smirk. Mind you, I didn't give a fuck to ask her that question. One of the producers stopped the scene and was like, ask her, have she been around your kids? And stop playing with her, like, ask her. And I'm just like, shit. So I said, have you been around my kids? She was like, she didn't even answer the question.
Yeah, I know she
I said,
did.
she gonna lie on Twitter talking about something. They edited like that. I would never just smirk at somebody about the kids. Girl, yes, you did. The first thing I said was, I said, bitch, I said, I will beat your fucking head in at this fucking table right now if you ever smirk, play with me. Because one thing I don't do is play about my damn kids. And everybody in this room knows I will whoop your ass. And they've been saving your ass all day. She stood up from that damn table and was like, I'm not finna be threatened. I'm leaving. She walked out, girl. They had to bring her back just to finish the sit down because I was finna whoop her ass at that table. Literally. So that's when they cut it up like that. Like, she was dragging me. I'm literally like, this bitch literally was scared. She done walked out 2 or 3 times. She's like, you can't even control yourself. And da 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 da. I'm just like, I can't.
Because I was wondering, like, where all this energy come from Mackenzie all of a sudden? Because I was like, what is happening, Jesus?
They had to sit her down. She got up. She walked around. She was like irritated. She was scared for a little bit. And they brought her back, told me to be quiet, let her talk for a couple minutes. Because the producers be getting irritated with me sometimes because I can talk. Like, I will run your ass through the ground with my words. Like, so when I say stuff, they be like, Danielle, let the other person say something. Like, the last link up with Morgan, I was like, no, I'm not letting y'all say shit, actually, because this is how I feel. But I've been known to, like, not let people say what they need to say. So I'm like, okay, be quiet. So I let her get her little shit. She popped her shit. She said a lot of stuff in that sit down. She talked about, like, our drop off and pickup locations. She talked about my aunt. She talked about the rent money. She talked about me begging for stuff, like stuff that obviously he's telling her. And I'm looking at him like, why are you telling this girl I'm begging for something that we agreed on? Like, obviously, we came to an agreement about what you would pay. So the fact that I would even have to ask you for your portion is ridiculous. And the fact that you as a mother would be okay with saying, like, oh, my baby daddy takes good care of me, like, how are we different? What makes you be in position to want to be taken care of and be taken care of and not me? I don't get it. Like, I never understood what the difference was, but I know what the difference is. That girl thinks that she's better than me because of how she looks, because she has
I
blue
was just
eyes,
going to ask
because
you, do you
she has
think that she
lighter
was
skin.
colorless?
She thinks that she's better than me. She thinks that she's not going to be treated like me because of how I act, how I speak, how I talk. who I am, how I show up in relationships. She thinks that she's better for some reason because she's playing this like backseat to disrespect. I'm not doing that. So, you know, to each his own. That's what he chose. I'm happy for them. Run off in the sunset. But don't lie.
So,
Because how you get them is how you definitely lose them.
well, that's the truth. So when you guys started filming and you were confronting her on this stuff, were you and Rashad still dealing with each other at that point? I know you
No,
had taken your ring off.
I had taken my ring off. I mean, I had just been with him maybe like a couple weeks before that, honestly, but we wasn't in a relationship. We were definitely still dealing with each other, like,
Mm-hmm.
we get baby mamas and baby daddies do. Lord Jesus. He was still coming to California. I was still going to where he was at. It was still kind of like just a lot of confusion. We should have made it clear what it was. We didn't do that.
Right.
It was just still up in the air. But I feel like we struggled to do that because we had been together for so long. And
Right.
we had periods where we had issues, but then we come back. And in my head, I'm thinking that was just one of those periods. But obviously, like, I didn't feel like he was working towards anything positive. So I completely took my ring off and stepped away. I think that hurt his ego.
Mm-hmm.
That I did that. I think it hurt his ego that he started to see me like outside going to the club. Like I wasn't that girl. Like so when I say on the show, like I'm like people be like, oh, you only got 14,000 followers. Yeah, because I'm not no social media girl. Like I was in the house. I
Right.
was going to work. I was cooking and cleaning, doing what I needed to do. I'm not on social media. I'm not hosting clubs. I wasn't that girl. So a lot of the cast members would throw that in my face, like some followers. Like, what the fuck is a follower? Baby,
Right.
I have a whole like family I'm taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girl, I have a whole master's degree. I have a whole career. Like, I don't give a damn about no followers.
Right. Knowing what you know now and the things that he's done, how does that make you feel? Like with him coming onto the show with her,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
lying
Huh?
to her, and then the whole monogamy thing, and like the disrespect that you've been shown from him. Where does that put you at mentally and emotionally?
Um, I would say that because I'm gonna say I'm still healing,
Mm-hmm.
but it made me heal a lot faster, and I'm actually grateful that I went through this shit on TV. And
Yeah.
it sounds so crazy. I was just talking to one of the owners of the show, Mark, and I was telling him like, like when we were going through this process, I was so mad at them for like, bringing him on the show, like funding him to come to Orlando because he hadn't even seen our kids in several months when he filmed that scene. He flew to Orlando, hadn't even seen our kids. The scene was filmed in September. I don't think he's seen the kids for like 2 or 3 months. Two and a
Prior
half
to
months,
that,
3 months prior to that scene. So it was just devastating to like know that he was putting so much effort into like proving himself to her and like supporting her and like what are our kids gonna think of this? Like what is our daughter gonna say when she sees this? Like I was just like disgusted. And I mentally, honestly, like when I watched him with her on the farm, I was like laughing because I was like, that's not even you, bro. Because I know him. Because when you know somebody
yeah.
and you see him
Mm-hmm.
like playing on TV, it was like, oh, he's playing with her. So when people was like, oh, I bet you Danielle feels vindicated. She feels happy. Like she was right the whole time. I don't feel happy. It's actually embarrassing to watch that I just spent the last almost decade with this man who is now on TV disrespecting another woman. I viewed it as, damn, you're disrespectful. You met her children. You're disrespecting another woman. Our daughter has to see that. She sees you as like Superman. Why would you do that?
Why
Why
would
would
you
you
do
not
it
at
to
least
you?
I would have preferred him as a man come on there like, you know what? I respect you. I respect the mother of my children. I'm here in support of you, babe. I'm just wanting to see you happy and uplifted in this space. He dogged the shit out of her. And then, are we good? Toast. Are we good? Did we? That shit did not make me feel vindicated. It did not make me feel happy to watch. It made me laugh because I'm like, girl, I told you. But it didn't make me feel happy or like overly joyed that he did that to her. It made me feel like you're just a poor excuse for a man. You're disrespectful. And how dare you meet this girl's children and playing her face like that on national TV? Because if that was my child you were playing with, I just know my mom, I just know how my mom would feel, or how Kari would feel, or how my father would feel to see you on TV playing in their daughter's face. So it just didn't sit right with me. I was like, that shit is whack. It's not cool. You on there playing with this girl. We got a whole family. I understand you trying to get your lick back. You mad because of what she's telling you that I'm saying the whole time. It didn't even play out like that because I ain't really say nothing negative. I just told the truth, my truth.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, just I don't know. I'm good, but I'm good. I'm happy it happened like that. I'm happy it played out like that. I'm overly joyed that I'm able to move on from it. I'm overly joyed that I'm able to watch him on TV with another woman, and it don't affect my emotions for the day. It don't, you know, because I was sick when I took my ring off. Like I lost a lot of weight. I was depressed for a long time. I didn't want to do nothing. Like I was so skinny, like a crackhead. And it's funny because he had emailed me talking shit, like you're a crackhead. You stay off the drugs. I was like, he knows I don't do drugs. I barely even drink. So it was just like, you know, little stuff like that. And then when a little Ozempic comment came up, I'm like, you saying this shit on TV about him saying I said something about you on Ozempic, which was shady of me. But he called me ugly. And he told me that you was telling him that I wear too much makeup. So it's like, girl, stop doing that. Just don't say nothing about him. Because I post all the emails of everything he said about you and everything he said about me, and then you gonna look stupid. But I just let her win because it's like you're not winning no prize in him.
No.
It's not a prize.
I just want for you, for moving forward, to know that you deserve better. You deserve
Yeah.
better. And I know his age plays into a lot of it and his immaturity, but just from the outside looking in and just for being older and an older woman, he ain't it. I'm sorry. He's
Yeah.
not it.
And that's why I'm kind of happy because I'm like, dang, like, why did it take me to have to go on TV to realize that he was not the person for me?
But sometimes God will do that because it's different when you just live your everyday life because you can hide stuff from people and
Yeah.
deal with it. But now when you're faced with it where
It's
everybody's seeing
forced
it,
me.
it holds you
Yes.
accountable to be like, nah, bro. Yeah, because don't let nobody treat you like that. Nobody. I don't care how much time you spent with them. Y'all having kids, y'all was engaged. You have a
Mm-hmm.
daughter and a son that have to see that a woman is not supposed to be treated like this. And he
Exactly.
has children and a son, most definitely, that he needs to be showing at any and all costs you respect your mom, and I'm going to respect your mom at all costs. Like I'll never
Mm-hmm.
disrespect her like that. And the fact that he came on this show to me was the ultimate fu to you,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that hurt me. And I ain't even you. You know what I'm saying? And
It
Mackenzie,
didn't hurt. I feel like the reason why it didn't like stab me in the heart is because I know like the type of person that he is. Like he wants to come out like he ain't did nothing wrong. Like he's the good guy or like he's doing something like he wanted to hurt my feelings. And when you doing something to hurt somebody's feelings, it's never gonna play out like y'all thought it was gonna play out. Like she in her mind thought like it was gonna play out like, oh, see, I brought him on here. No, baby. You probably have the most embarrassing scene in Basketball Wives history. I
yeah.
seen a bunch of comments saying it, and I was like, damn, I'm trying to
Oh
think
yeah.
back.
I said it in my interview. I said I don't understand why she thinks that she's any different from you. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's getting the same treatment. Like at the end of
I
the
was,
day,
yes.
um, and I do think that there is some colorism at play with Mackenzie. Now that you
Mm-hmm.
told me that she's going around saying Neek was ugly and this, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
third. And I'm like, girl.
Nick told me that. I didn't even know that. Nick told me all this information, but they play like on camera, like they so cool and this and that and all this bullshit. Girl, stop it. I don't do fake shit.
Do you find
I
it
don't do
weird
a lot
that
of
they
fake shit. So
constantly
when y'all
say,
see me looking at having a lot of shade towards Nick and them and that little situation, it's because I don't do fake shit. Y'all playing like y'all cool on camera, which is fine. But my thing is don't call me immature because I don't want to get my children involved in no weird ass going around, y'all all sleeping with each other. Now y'all breaking up every 5 seconds. I don't do that type of shit. I just told you, my parents been together 30 years. We don't do step shit around here. Now, maybe it's going to be a situation where I move on and then we'll introduce it, but it ain't going to be after 2 months. Bitch, you're not meeting my kids. I'm sorry. I don't operate my household like y'all operate y'all. So she did a lot of like, you're immature, you're this, you're that. Don't call me immature because now that little scene where you said, where your man's at, you and Dwayne done broke up. And now your kids done lost another daddy.
wait a minute, Nick and the boy done broke up? I'm going to say each of the cast members' names, and I want you to say the first word that comes to your head.
Conniving. Real one. Messy. Well, how the fuck you with him every day? He got my kids every day. Exactly. So that's where that tea came from.
I'm about to throw this.
But you know, Mulan has diarrhea mouth. What's going on? She's like, you was Ashley's event. I said, Morgan, I was just with you. I can't trust you. I can't be around you. I can't kick it with you. Mulan knows too much of Neek's real tea. So Neek keeps Mulan very close. Like, I don't care. I was like, oh, okay, I see what this is.
Has it ever gotten to the point where it got physical before, or this the first time?